Okay, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome back to page 3 of the Wife Talk Affirmation Deck. Now, I need y'all to breathe. I know the first 2 pages was heavy. However, we have a couple more to go, and I know that we can do this, okay? All right. Take a deep breath in, breathe out. All right, here we go. Here we go. I refuse to use my mouth as a weapon against my husband. Yikes. I refuse to use my mouth as a weapon against my husband. The verse for that is death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Now, I know most of this is in the King James Version, and I did that on purpose. I need you to get the U Version app if you don't have it and look at it in a different translation. I need you to do some homework on your own. However, I refuse to use my mouth as a weapon against my husband. This is a big one, y'all, because I know some people. I'm not going to talk about you, but we know other people that you hear conversations that they have with their husbands, and you be like, nah, she should have said that. I could never. But you be reckless too. You be reckless with your mouth. I've been reckless with my mouth. And when we're reckless like that, we're not building him up. We're tearing him down, actually. Every time we're telling him, you not this, and you can't do this, and you ain't ever done this, and you ain't pop, 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 that's us tearing him down. And that's not us speaking life to him. Our mouth is now is the weapon that the enemy can use against him. So whenever instead of thinking of us and wanting to come home to us, he's like, "Nah, dog, I don't even want to go home because I know that when I get home, she gonna have something to say because she always got something to say." We don't want our husbands to think that. We need to build them up. And of course, death and life are in the power of our tongue. And if you continue to speak death over this man and you keep coming for his neck, then you're going to get whatever you got because you keep coming for him. But if you start lifting him up and building him up with your words, my man's just gonna start developing into the person that you need him to be. Again, affirmations is for you. It's not for him. It's for you. So if you start changing and he see you changing, then that's going to promote him to change. Now, for in real life, what I had to do because I got out of a terrible marriage and I got into one that I knew would be healthy. However, I just got out of that terrible marriage and we got married like that. It didn't take all day because we've known each other forever and it was just time for us to be together. That's another story. We'll talk about that later. Wife talk wife talk live sessions. Anyways, what I did to control my mouth, I got tattooed on my thigh King Stephen. Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture and I'll upload it or I'll put it on one of my socials. But I got King Stephen tattooed on my thigh to remind me to see him in high regard. Because if I'm not gonna talk to a king that way, a regular king out here, or I'm not gonna talk to the president. And what was paid? I think it was page 1 or 2, where we have to talk to this man as if he was God. I had to see him as king. So when I wanted to pop off at the mouth or I wanted to come for him, I knew that I could not because I would not talk to a king like that. And I call him King Stephen. Or I call him Big Daddy. Big Daddy, you can't come for Big Daddy like that. That's just like coming for Big Mama. Big Mama will throw a shoe at you before, and then you have to back up. I want to hold him in high regard all the time, no matter how he's being. And I promise you, this my current husband has done a whole lot for me to possibly say something, but I didn't, and I kept calling him king. I called him what he did not know he was, and then he became that. So, again, the affirmation for today is I refuse to use my mouth as a weapon against my husband. I refuse. I just will not do it. You can't get me to use my mouth as a weapon. So I know that you're going to do the same thing. You're going to grow. If you're not doing this already, you're going to grow to not use your mouth as a weapon against your husband. Refuse. Like, ew. Like, why would I ever do that? What, me? Nah. Not us. Not wife talks. Not wife talkers. We don't do that here. All right, y'all. That's the end of this. Breathe in. All right. That was deep. That was another deep one. But I'll talk to y'all later, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.